I'd been living in Meanjin, Brisbane for a year when the pandemic arrived. My partner Jeremy and I had just moved into an apartment together with our dog Chili. We were fortunate to be able to work remotely, Jeremy in IT support and me as a freelance writer and editor. But as COVID-19 cases climbed and lockdowns lengthened, my health, both mental and physical, rapidly declined. En route to my psychologist, I passed a small plant nursery and, on impulse, brought home a baby monstera. Much like the outcome of my health, I didn't know how my little leafy friend would fare. Previous attempts at growing herbs on our western-facing balcony had failed miserably. I needed to create the optimal conditions for this monstera and myself to thrive. But how? As the year unfurled in a whirl of vaccine vetting and mask mandates, Jeremy and I weathered the storms, fires, flood, plague. We found equilibrium in our 12th story cubby house through creative expression and a healthy dose of good humour. Jeremy painting Warhammer Fantasy miniatures, playing guitar, me with my writing projects and plants, and our twice daily walks with Chili. Speaking of spices, I was thrilled when the first shoots appeared in the pots in which I'd sown bird's eye seeds, and their continued growth, along with my monstera, now at Triffid proportions, marked the passing of days with renewed purpose and hope. To have responsibility means you have the ability to respond, and this was what made my new green thumb frenzy worthwhile. Despite the chaos and despair of the outside world, I could at least act on keeping my plants and myself nourished and alive. I learned through this process how to pay attention to the most subtle signs in myself and my green-veined menagerie. New to the family is a bonsai tree clinging to a rock that sits in a shallow dish of water, like a wise prophet atop a hill. The significance of the rock in water, to me, represents how, during the pandemic lockdowns, we were all living in clusters, like islands, dotted around the globe. Some, like my partner Jeremy, embraced this time of solitude, whereas others, like me, experienced overwhelming loneliness. There is a big difference between solitude and loneliness, and I firmly believe one way to bridge this gap is to find those points of connection, ways of being in the world, in community, in nature, where purpose and hope can flourish. Side by side, we thrive.